What the?
What are all these cracks?
And now we finally know what that scene from the opening movie was. It still really confuses me why they put a scene, and kind of a spoilery one, from so late in the answer in the opening movie.
This is bad. It's becoming unstable. It should last a little longer, but we don't have much time. If the fault extends to the door, we may not be able to leave even with the keys.
It's just one thing after another, isn't it?
So, what's the plan? I mean, no one's seriously thinking about going back to the past, right?
I've been thinking, why do you think he died? They never figured out the cause of death at the hospital, right?
Well, that's...
Personally, I still think it's because he used all his power to accomplish that miracle. In other words, we were saved because he gave up his life. He gave everything for us. So it doesn't seem right to undo all his work on our own. Ken-kun.
I'm with Ken. We've all seen what kind of resolve it takes to face death. That resolve, and what it brought about. There's no way we can cancel that out on our own whims.
You know, I'm with both of them.
Even if it hurts, we have to deal with it and accept the present.
Yukari, what about you?
I've been dreading this moment. I've been dreading this moment ever since I started the answer. As someone who actually liked Yukari during the journey, what's about to happen is beyond painful.
You're all about the here and now, right, Yuka-tan?
Exactly! That's what she learned during the journey. Surely she wouldn't contradict all of that with one stupid decision.
I mean, you say it all the time. You gotta look forward.
I want to go back to the time before the last battle.
And she did it.
When I thought about how he protected us, I kept telling myself that I have to keep looking forward. That's why I started going to cram school and spending less time goofing off. But I can't lie to myself. If there's a way for him to come back, I'll take it, no matter what.
The weird thing about all this is that normally I'd kind of side with Yukari here, if it weren't for the fact that the no matter what is the end of the world. That kind of invalidates any sympathy here.
Yukari.
So, you're giving up? Are you saying you don't have the strength to face reality? After all the things we've gone through, you're just gonna throw in the towel in the fight against yourself?
Uh-oh, you've provoked her.
Oh yeah, you're really one to be throwing around all those high-minded ideals.
And now she's gonna be ruining her character even more. Thanks for that.
If you really thought something was that precious to you, you'd want to protect it no matter what. Don't you understand? We can go back and fix things.
Don't you understand? That will result in every living being on Earth dying?
Are you seriously just gonna let a chance like this go?
Then I'll ask you this. If I said I wanted to undo your father's death, would you do it? Even if there was a way to reverse Shinji and Miki's death, I'd flat out refuse. Nothing in the past was a waste. You're just making excuses.
Again, I'm completely with him. By the way, it seemed like I was blaming him for Yukari's outburst earlier. I'm really not. She is totally in the wrong there.
Hey, you keep mentioning death. Are you saying the person who saved you all didn't just leave?
So all this time, you've never known.
That's correct. He passed away.
What? Why didn't you tell me before?
I like to think that at this point, it suddenly clicks in Metis' head, oh crap, if I'd known that, I never would have brought up the other door.
Why? But you've never met him.
Anyway, what do the rest of you think?
I don't know. I get second thoughts when I think about going back to when Chidori died.
And this is the other reason why a lot of people refuse to accept the answer as canon. The first is Yukari, the second is this. These are really the two big reasons. Yeah, despite the fact that you can save Chidori in FES, this makes Chidori dying canon, although admittedly she did die once and come back from it, so you could take this as Junpei referring to the first time she died, and thus it could still be canon in the Chidori lives path, I guess.
I definitely see what Akihiko-senpai is trying to say. When you get down to it, though, I hate to say this, but I'm just too scared to do that battle over.
What's wrong with you? Are you saying you're scared to die, but it's okay if he does?
And are you saying it's okay if everyone else in the world dies as long as he doesn't?
That's not what I said. I mean, have you really thought this through? Going back to before that battle means we have to fight Nyx again. Did you ever think about what might happen if we lose this time?
Yeah, exactly what I've been saying.
It's the same thing. Either way, all it means is that you're just scared.
I don't even know how this even qualifies as a counter-argument, Yukari, I'm sorry.
And you two are no better. All that talk about accepting the present is because when you get down to it, you only care about yourselves.
Says the person who's trying to doom the world just to bring back one person? I'm sorry, but you're really not one to talk here?
What?
How can you say that? There's no use going around and around like this. We're never gonna reach an agreement.
Well, actually, everyone's in agreement here except you, but that's beside the point.
So if no one gives in, we'll have to settle this another way.
Going out the front door and rendering this whole argument moot? I'm all for that option. Who's with me?
Another way? Yukari-chan, you don't mean...
Brace yourselves, Yukari is about to say one thing that is gonna make things go entirely to hell.
Taking the keys by force. That'll work too, right?
It's true that the 8 keys will merge if they're brought together, even against their holders' wishes. But if it comes to a fight, I'll protect my sister with everything I have.
Well, good to know we have one person on our side at least.
These keys represent each of your strength of heart. If you take my sister's, she may lose her life.
This plot point is a little weird. I feel like it only exists to justify why you can still get a game over going forward.
What do you mean?
And even then, it's a very flimsy justification, as I'll talk about later.
You're only thinking of what's best for you. The person with my sister's power died of unknown causes, didn't he? Did any of you ever stop to think that maybe the same thing could happen to her? I came to protect her. But I won't make another mistake. I'll do whatever it takes to save her.
Metis. Aika-san, which door are you thinking about unlocking? I can't decide right now which is more important, past or the present.
So you're just gonna run away? Again? Just like the day we said our farewells to him, and you were the only one who didn't show up.
Well, technically speaking, you were late to that, so again, you're not one to talk.
You got to hear his last words. You even made him a promise. But here you are, still running. Why were you the one who inherited his power when you can't even make up your mind? I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna lose to someone like you.
Yukari-chan, are you really going to fight?
This decision hinges upon someone precious to us all. Our differences can't be settled with a compromise. No matter what Aigis decides, we have no choice but to fight.
And get ready, because Mitsuru is about to do something that kind of ruins her character in the eyes of a lot of people too.
And I've made my decision as well. I'm going to stand with Yukari.
Yep. I'll just give you a minute to let that sink in. Mitsuru actually said that.
Senpai.
You're taking her side? Are you serious?
See, even Akihiko doesn't understand what the heck she's doing.
I know you well enough to tell your mind's made up. Alright.
Oh no, my OTP is now gonna have to fight each other.
Everyone! It's decided then. Follow me. I'll lead you to a place suitable for battle. If we fight there, no one can appeal the result.
Hey!
Yeah, it turns out they had an arena prepared earlier, just in case something like this might happen. And so, we enter the part of the game that I like to call Civil War. So everyone's pretty much summing up their motivations here. See, I actually sympathize with Junpei here as well. So basically, we have Team We Got Seduced by Gary Stu and have now turned crazy and evil because of it. We have Team Respect Shinjiro / Respect the Time We Have with the Protagonist. And we have Team For the Love of God, Everyone Calm Down, and I'm gonna beat the crap out of you until you do so. So yeah, those are the three sides we've got, and Aigis and Metis are currently on Team Undecided. Firstly though, I'm gonna save after that last fight. We've got a few things that we can do before Civil War officially begins. Firstly, we can talk to all of the teams. So yeah, these two are teaming up. And that's a really good point. I personally agree with this team the most from a moral standpoint. However, I still really feel for Junpei here. He just doesn't want all of his friends to fight each other. And sadly, yep, we're actually gonna have to... Yeah, really, they're gonna make us do that. Fuga's not sure what she wants to do. I mean, they acknowledge it in universe, but it's still pretty weird. So Mitsuru is doing this because she owes Yukari a debt, because Yukari was the one who dragged Mitsuru out of her depression towards the end of the story, which normally would be pretty heartwarming and a noble thing for Mitsuru to do, but when it comes to this, you're siding with someone who essentially is trying to destroy the world. for no reason other than I'm loyal to them? Yeah. Mitsuru is actually the one that I'm most terrified of fighting. As for you, who are you and what have you done with Yukari? I am going to take you down and bring the real Yukari back. And Menace is on our side. And if we talk to her, we are able to say that we're ready. But let's take our time here, because Elizabeth in the Velvet Room actually has something to say, as you'd expect she should. You can still fuse personas now. And yeah, quite upset is an understatement. It really should have ended earlier, but no, they had to drag things out and make all the party members, well, most of them, into jerks. And, yep, that's that word, the answer again. And Elizabeth is kind of breaking the fourth wall there. Yep, in order to reach the ending of this, we're gonna have to fight everyone. I think I'm pretty much happy with the persona loadout that I currently have. You do have an opportunity to go back to the Velvet Room in between fights though, and thankfully, these fights are not gonna happen all in a row. Also, the TV is still on its loop. I was kind of hoping that the TV would be completely distorted now thanks to all the cracks, but no. And here's something else that you can do. You can go here and buy supplies. Now, the way that Nessus words her dialogue seems to imply that you won't get another chance to come back here after you've said, yes, I'm ready. That's actually not true. Hi there, Officer Kurosawa. Can I just bring you through the door and just have you arrest everyone? I'm sorry, it's just the thought suddenly came into my head. Yukari, you're under arrest for breaking character. Okay, so if you try and head down to the Abyss of Time, the result is the same. So, if you wanted to grind party members that aren't Metis and Igus, you probably should have done that before fighting the Shadow of Doubt, because that's kind of a point of no return. I will just say though, there is still an opportunity to do this going forward, so it's not completely hopeless. And don't worry if you feel that you're underleveled for these coming fights, because Metis and Igus are still able to enter previous areas in the Abyss of Time and grind.
This place. Where is everyone else?
They're fine. They've gone their separate ways and they're waiting in different areas. You see the big door up ahead? There's an arena past that door. You'll be fighting them there. Your only goal is to collect the keys, so there's no need to take their lives as well. But this is a real battle, and there will be consequences if they lose.
That's vague. Could you elaborate, please?
Sister? Are you listening?
Is there no way to avoid this?
Well, that's what Junpei is trying.
Not as long as you have a key and they're after it.
But you promised me at the start that you wouldn't hurt my friends.
I haven't forgotten, but this involves your life. I'll protect you. No matter what happens, I'll protect my sister. This is actually where I awakened. I wondered why this place existed, but now, I feel like this is what I was meant to do all along.
Beat up all of your sister's friends? Okay then.
I can't explain why.
Actually, thinking a little bit about exactly what Metis is, that does kind of make sense to some extent. I'll be going into that in more detail later. So here we are in the Coliseo Purgatorio, which is a pretty ominous name. You can actually go back through this door and go back to the dorm if you want. And from the dorm, you can still access the item shops, so you're not completely screwed. Also, you can still return to earlier areas if you feel like you need to grind Aigis and Metis more, but at this point, they're the only party members that you have access to. So just be aware of that. I think I'm ready for this first fight though, so I'm gonna go straight to it. Now, round 1 is gonna be against Team Respect Shinjiro. So what we want here is resistance to electricity and especially strike. The biggest threat in this battle is actually the strike attacks, not the electrical attacks. So let's see, I have Melchizedek who's strong against strike, Siegfried who's also strong against strike, and also immune to light, which helps against Ken, obviously. Koryu is, I guess, somewhat decent for his light immunity and being able to heal. Sibylle has Auto Maraku, so I might lead with her. I feel like defense is better than offense in these fights, because all of these opponents are kind of glass cannons. They go down quickly if you know what you're doing, but they hit very hard. Also, I am not going to use Seth at all. Which actually means I'm going to have a few problems, because that means my main form of offense is going to be physical attacks, and yeah. Okay, so going into this with Sibylle. As far as items go, I'm going to stay with the Vitality Ring for now, because the chance of shock is fairly low, and they have a really high crit rate anyway, so I feel like the extra HP is going to be more of a help overall. Also, I probably should have taken the Lightning Gloves from Yukari before the last boss fight, because yeah, you can't access the inventory of our other party members during this part of the game. And Metis is totally fine when it comes to equipment. Also, in terms of items, I have 6 homunculi, so I have some insurance in case we get hit with light or dark. You definitely want that going into these boss fights. I also have some attack mirrors and magic mirrors, which are also going to be useful going forward. Now, let's enter the arena.
This could be explosive!
In the red corner, we have Team Undecided.
This is where you awakened?
And in the blue corner, we have Team Respect Shinjiro.
I gotta admit, this is a pretty appropriate place to settle stuff like this.
And I guess Akihiko is no stranger to fighting people he considers friends, seeing as he's on a school boxing team. Also, this battle is gonna be pretty painful for me, because this is the group that I agree with the most from a moral standpoint.
I was hoping to go up against Mitsuru's team first, but oh well.
To be honest, so was I.
Aigis, Akihiko-senpai.
Fuka-san.
Do you object to her acting as the mediator and backing up both sides?
No! You can't make a decision like that without me! Helping both sides, encouraging my friends to fight each other? I won't do such a thing!
But with your ability...
There's no need to worry about us when we're about to go at it. If you can't choose, side with Aigis. Her life could be at risk, right? So it's only fair that she gets a handicap with you.
Well, that's pretty nice.
Akihiko-senpai.
Let's get this over with.
And so Fuka's gonna join Team Undecided, so we actually get a navigator for this.
Aigis-san, have you decided what you'll do if you get all the keys?
I can't fight against...
Sorry, but if you haven't made up your mind by now, I can't let you have our keys.
I'm gonna go quiet for a bit because this music is amazing.
We'll see whose will is stronger.
If you don't take this seriously, you'll be hurt.
This won't satisfy anyone. Give me a sec. I'll scan the target.
Understood.
Persona!
Ah!
Caesar!
So this song is called Heartful Cry. It's amazing and has pretty much become Aigis' de facto theme song ever since this game. So, the C's members are dirty cheaters. They all have skills that are nowhere near anything they can learn normally. Ken, for example, has Rebellion and Revolution. It'd actually be kind of interesting if he did learn those skills normally. But yeah, he has those. He also has standard Ken skills like Zeodyne and Hammer-On. This is why you want light protection. And he also has Premonition, which means that all physical attacks against him have reduced hit rates. But the real annoying thing about Ken in this fight is that he does have Diarahan and he isn't afraid to use it. So, in this fight, take out Ken first. This is why I had Metis go for assigned target on him. The cool thing is, this boss fight actually has a strategy that they're employing against you.
Please be careful.
So Akihiko will first debuff your agility to make it so you can't really dodge. Then Ken will use Rebellion or Revolution to increase their crit rate. From then, Akihiko will try and critical you, and then Ken will follow that up with Vile Assault while you're down for massive damage. So, these guys are actually pretty dangerous. They're one of the scariest fights in this set, in my opinion. Also, Akihiko does have Counter-Strike, be aware of that. Unfortunately, that missed Ken.
That was nothing.
However, Siegfried doesn't need to worry about Counter-Strike because he's immune to slash attacks himself, so if they get bounced back at him, they'll do nothing. Now, Akihiko's Gigantic Fist is really annoying because it has an absurdly high crit rate, like that.
I won't hold back.
It seems like even without Rebellion or Revolution up, he just crits you all the time with that skill. So yeah, Akihiko also has a few other weird tricks, like Mind Charge Megadola on for some reason. He also has Power Charge, so I'll be putting up the attack mirrors if he does that. And other than that, he's pretty standard, except that he only has one debuff, thankfully, not all of them. And he loves to crit you. A lot, especially when backed up with this. And unfortunately, Metis didn't benefit from that since she's down. This is what the Bulbs of Life are for. Unfortunately, Metis can very easily go down to Ken's Hummer attacks too, and there's nothing really you can do about it. Please don't crit me, thank you. I really wish that Metis learned a physical buff skill, because that would make this so much easier. Because when my defense buff goes away, I'm probably going to have to use a Protection Sutra. I really, really don't like being defense debuffed against these guys like that.
Agility down. Please be careful.
I think I have to brave one turn of this though,
I need your help.
because I'll want the defense. Actually, wait a minute. Meta's already lost her defense buff thanks to going down once. Please don't crit me.
Too slow.
Good. They're still going for that, I see. Okay, no shock, and I probably need to heal right now. Kind of annoying that Ken has dodged most things that have come at him so far.
You're strong.
Okay, let's continue to show our strength. They're only a little bit down. I feel like this level of health is a bit scary. I'm gonna have to heal. Koryu, like I said, is gonna be my main healer for these fights. Summer Rakam's actually not bad either, because these fights tend to be over before you can use up all your SP anyway. The interesting thing about these fights is I'd say they qualify as rocket tag gameplay. Basically, their defensive stats are all really, really low. They tend to go down very quickly, especially the power charge or mind charge attacks. However, their offensive stats are utterly stupid. Akihiko has 90 strength, which is pretty close to what he has at max level in Persona Q. I like to think that these guys, their keys are basically giving them special powers. Because there's no other reason you can really explain this. Okay, I'm at full HP, I'm gonna go for Vorpal Blade. Now, the cool thing about Siegfried is that he actually has high counter, if only that would activate against some of their attacks. Okay, they're both down to half-ish.
Not bad, but I'm not going down.
Yeah, he really means it. This guy is tough. No crit there, thankfully.
Alright. It's time to get serious.
When Ken's health gets low, he tends to use Rebellion or Revolution. Specifically Revolution, and yeah. He also likes to heal Akihiko, that's why I like to take him down first. Yeah, Metis is really low on health. I need to... How many beads do I have? I've got 3 of these. I'm gonna go for a heal.
Take this! Thank you.
Persona!
So if I'm not saying a lot here, this fight actually makes me really nervous because you have the potential to pretty much just instantly die to crits at any time. Unless you're fully immune to strike. The annoying thing is, I easily could have passed down Null Strike via a Baton to one of my personas, and I am really kicking myself that I didn't do that, because that would have made this so much easier. Okay, I kind of just want to focus on taking Ken down. Because when it's down to just Akihiko, I have less to worry about when it comes to
I won't give up.
Vile Assaults.
I won't hold back.
Oh no, I know you're not holding back, and that's what scares me. Yes, high counter, nice. The Karakon. Yeah, Ken can do that too, I forgot to mention that earlier. Elemental attacks are the only reliable way to hit them, so this does make the fight kind of annoying. Okay then, the reason I haven't put Metis in Orgia mode, by the way, is I don't want to risk her having her defense drastically reduced when it wears off. Okay, I could take Ken down now. In fact, I probably should, just in case he tries to go for Diaraha on himself. I usually only see him do that to Akihiko. Oh, wow, nice crit there. And there goes Ken. Does that give us an all-out attack? It actually does, nice. Although, I actually want to leave him down.
You don't want to?
Because that means that he's going to miss out on his turn here. And yeah, she said change of plans because now that Ken's down, her tactics have been reset. So I'm going to heal now. Don't want to take any chances here now that Ken's gone. Because Akihiko... Keep accidentally pressing that. Akihiko is still pretty dangerous on his own, but with Ken down, he can't really pull off any of the combos that he used to. Okay, he's mind charging, and he does have Mega Doll on, so Magic Mirrors won't really help you here.
All I can do is watch.
Really? I guess you're too scared to go for, Counter-Strike. That's weird. Okay then. I'm really terrified that a Mind Charge Mega Doll is just gonna outright kill me. Because I know that if I use a Magic Mirror, he's just gonna go ahead and do that. Who here has the best endurance? That's probably Koryu. I mean, I should probably Magic Mirror just in case, but that's also gonna provoke him into using Mega Dollar on, most likely. I'm gonna try, or I could use a, you know what, I think the best course of action here is to go for, where the heck are my Protection Sutras? There they are.
Take this.
Yeah, let's just buff our defense. So this should hopefully not kill us.
Persona!
Just going for Zero Dyne, okay then. Really? That was Mind Charge Zero. What are you doing, Metis? She really doesn't want to get Counter-Strike, does she? Okay, let's see... If I do same target, will that actually make you attack? Yeah, I noticed something weird about Metis' AI in this fight. She often tends to... I don't know if Melchizedek is the better option here. She often tends to... In fact, I might actually go for Norn thanks to Norn's draining electric. But she often tends to power charge and then go for elemental attacks instead of physical ones. It's really weird. And that's going to give you a bit of healing.
I won't hold back.
Okay, you're just going to spam that now, aren't you? I have nothing to fear that from that apart from Mega Doll on. And yeah, now you're actually doing stuff. Unfortunately, Akihiko is not weak to that. Kind of wish he was. Really wish these operated like the Shadow of Doubt earlier. Let's just go for just spamming Hunter Ray. At this point, it's probably better to just finish this quickly and not go for Mind Charge. Yeah, I'll take him out in a couple of hits.
I'm not through yet. Let's see how much power you really have.
Oh, I wouldn't recommend testing Norn like that. Please be on Aegis. No. Yeah, you're just still spamming elemental skills instead of your physical attacks. I mean, I appreciate you trying to avoid getting counter-strikes, but I would much rather you go for power charge physical attacks against this guy. And he should be down now. I'll be glad to have this fight out of the way. Because this one makes me nervous with how often they tend to crit you. And a lot of experience out of that. And from that, we get a level up on Trumpeter, who's probably not going to be all that useful. Well, I have Norn, I don't really need this. Let's try my luck. Excuse me for one moment. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That would have been so much more useful if I got that before that fight. I'm not really that angry. This fight isn't really that hard, but that was still really annoying.
Akihiko-san! Hamada-san! What's happening?
I told you before, if they lose, there will be consequences.
I'm sorry, Menace, but consequences doesn't normally imply turned into fire. You probably should have made that clear earlier.
They haven't died, but they won't return to their original forms until the true key is forged.
In other words, Team Respect Shinjiro has been eliminated and will be taking no further part in this tournament.
You can no longer avoid fighting.
No. You knew this would happen. Is that why you brought us here? What were you thinking?
It's because this must be my purpose here. If the fires burn out, they won't be able to return to normal even if the key is forged.
Oh, so effectively they will die then. Yeah, again, this would have been good to know before we got ourselves into this.
We need to hurry, sister.
Don't call me sister anymore.
Do you hate me now? I'll still fulfill my promise. No matter what, I will protect you, sister.
I actually kind of side with Igus here. That was a pretty big omission on Metis' part, the fact that our friends are gonna be turned into fire if they lose, and yeah. But I guess we have to keep fighting. So, I'm gonna save now, and I'm gonna be doing all of these fights in their own parts, but I will say one thing. Something that I only realized recently. There are actually special game overs for if you lose these fights. And that's kind of depressing, but in some ways it makes sense because it doesn't make sense for these people to actually kill Igus. So in these game overs you don't actually die, but it just says now the possibility of taking a third option is out of your hands and the truth has been lost forever essentially. So it's still a game over, but Igus doesn't actually die. And not only that, but the text that you get on the game over screen is different for each team you can potentially lose to. So, I originally wasn't planning on showing this, but I actually did lose this fight in one attempt, so I'm going to show what the one is for Akihiko and Ken now. So now that my defense is down, I really don't want to be taking too much damage here. Because that can happen!
I won't hold back.
Okay, thankfully Ken's critical rate is back, and yes, he's gonna follow it up with Vile Assault. Hopefully this shouldn't kill him. It actually did, dang it. If there's popular demand for it, I might try and show the game over scenes for the other two teams. That is, if I don't actually fail to them. But yeah, that's the first fight down. I'll see you next time for the other painful fight.